Hello everyone, and welcome to another review that I have. Today I have a review for you from the house of Christian Dior. I have reviewed one of their other fragrances before, Dior Homme Sport. Today I have for you the original Dior Homme. This fragrance was released in the year of 2005. This is the bottle right here, very similar to the Dior Homme Sport as well as the Dior Homme Intense bottles. It has very sturdy glass that kind of comes through, see-through, all white. The top of the cap says CD for Christian Dior. It has Dior Homme written around the side near the sprayer. And it says Dior written inside on the stem, which is silver. Now, this is the 1.7. The bottom has some of the serial information on it. It's kind of etched into the glass itself. Now, one thing to keep in note is there are, I believe, at least 2 or 3 different formulations for it. One thing is this inside little stem for it is silver. That indicates that it's the original formulation. The more recent formulations that have recently come out in 2011 are indicated with a black stem. Now the difference between the original and the newer formulation is apparently iris. There is less iris in the newer formulation than there is in this formulation, supposedly to give it a little bit more of a manlier feel than what was currently in it, but I will get on and explain a little bit more in depth on that one. This fragrance actually made my top 10 fall of 2011. This is actually on my honorable mention, not on a listed, so didn't quite make the list, but it was there in terms of an honorable mention. Now, as far as notes goes for this particular fragrance, the initial, or the top, supposedly has lavender, sage, and bergamot. The middle notes contain iris, amber, cocoa, and cardamom, and the base contains Tahitian vetiver, patchouli, and leather. So, immediately when you spray this fragrance, what you're going to get is something that kind of reminds you of lipstick right off the bat and soft cocoa. Now, a lot of people are going to tell you about that lipstick kind of feel that they get for it, and it comes with good reason. The lipstick that was kind of created before came from iris. A lot of iris was in a lot of those lipstick products, so that's kind of why people think it smells like lipstick. What they're actually smelling is the iris. So right off the bat, you're going to get cocoa and iris kind of mixed in. That's going to give you a very soft feel. As it begins to dry down and go into kind of its heart stage, what you're going to get is something, the leather is going to come out a little bit more. You're going to get a little bit more of a powdery type smell coming out with it as well as a floral smell that kind of comes around with it. Now, as it dries down, the iris is going to go away and kind of recede into the back, whereas the soft cocoa, the soft powder is going to come, and you're going to be left with a cocoa-y, powdery type scent that's going to have a little bit of leather still there, still lingering around, and the iris you're going to still be able to detect, but it's going to be a bit more in the back than it was when you first sprayed it, where you're going to get that really blast of iris. Now, as far as the difference between this and the original formulation, because of that iris, because of that lipstick smell, a lot of people are going to think this is a feminine type fragrance when this can very easily be worn by a man. However, if a person smells you and they think you smell like a woman, don't be surprised, and it's because of that lipstick type vibe. Despite the fact that it has that lipstick type vibe, it still is a fragrance that many people can see being worn on a man. So it is marketed for men, but you should be I would say caution, or should be aware of the fact that it does have that lipstick type vibe. It really is prominent in this fragrance. Some people have actually said it even smells like Play-Doh. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. Now, in terms of occasion, this is the quintessential or the perfect date fragrance. It's a fragrance that you can wear going out, and whether it be with your girlfriend, whether it be with a prospective date, this is the type of fragrance that you want to wear. It's something that initially projects pretty well. It starts off, it gives off a good maybe 2-3 feet of projection. Very soft, very inviting type fragrance. And with that 3 feet of projection, that's going to last you about, I would say, between 3 and 6 hours. So in terms of, length or longevity of it, it doesn't really last that long. What this fragrance does bring is a pretty good silage. So by silage, what I mean is the wake, the trail that this actually is behind. It may not spread out, but it kind of lingers around and stays around. So despite the fact that this only lasts 3 to 6 hours, it still sticks around on your skin beyond that. It's just not going to project after that 3 to 6 hours. It's going to become that much more of a close scent. Now, that's actually the reason why I classify this as a perfect date scent. Because of the fact that it's only going to last you a couple hours on your skin for projection, and then it recedes back close to you. It allows for you to, do that meet and greet, whether it be for the first couple of hours that you're with your significant other, and then later on, as the night progresses and things start to get a little more, close, you can actually, bring her in close, and she won't be choked out by your scent, because it'll be more of a closer or more of a skin scent that'll kind of rest really well on your skin. Now, in terms of kind of month or when, this is the ideal fragrance, this is perfect for even temperatures. So nothing too drastic on the hot side, nothing too drastic on the cold side. So I classify this as a fall or a spring scent that can be worn. It does really well in those even setting of temperatures. Anything that gets too hot, then the powdery note, the floral notes kind of really brings it out and starts to take over. Anything that gets too cold, and you just don't really smell it. It doesn't really have that power to push through unless somebody is right up against your skin. Now, I would actually suggest that you try this fragrance before buying it. It can come off a little bit more feminine than most other fragrances. This fragrance, in terms of age range, I would suggest it for anyone beyond college. Anyone beyond college can really get off or really pull this one off better than any other fragrance. Anything younger than that, I fear it just might be a little bit out of your element. Again, by all means, go ahead. If you're younger than or haven't graduated out of college, give it a try. If you like it, see if you can pull it off. That's fine. I just don't think it's really suited for those age ranges. Now, this fragrance is somebody I was reading on, I believe, either Fragrantica or Base Notes, and somebody put it perfectly. This is like the pretty boy of fragrances. If you're a man that doesn't mind wearing a fragrance that's more on the feminine side, then you can really get away with this. But if you really don't want to ever leave that impression or don't want to give that impression off, then you probably want to stay away from this. This is almost like a European type fragrance. A perfect Paris type fragrance is the best way to describe this. Now, who would actually like this? If you're a fan of iris in your fragrances or that lipstick type fragrance, definitely pick this one up. If you're a fan of sweet or gourmandish, because this does have some gourmandish tendencies with the cocoa. It's not really something that you would eat, but it does remind you of food in that aspect. So if you're a fan of gourmands, you might want to check this one out as well. Give it a sniff. And if you like powdery floral fragrances, obviously, then you kind of want to look in this direction. Now, why might not you want to get into this? Again, if you're not a fan of those feminine or floral fragrances, give this one a pass. Don't even look at this one in this direction, basically. It's definitely not one of those that has a definite gender. So just keep that in mind. If you don't like soft or powdery fragrances, again, keep away from this one. And if you're looking for something that's going to project like a monster for the duration or anything like that, if you're looking for a very loud fragrance for that matter, you probably want to stay away from this one. This is more of a soft, gentle type of a fragrance. Now, in terms of ratings, 1 to 10, 1 being a bad fragrance, 10 being the best, and 5 being an average fragrance, I actually give this one a 7. I couldn't really give this one a higher meaning just because it does, in my opinion, just have a very limited range of times that it's really ideal to wear this. That's one particular reason. Another particular reason is, even though I can wear this, I have worn this a decent amount, it still is definitely a fragrance that can be a little bit androgynous for that matter. So it's definitely what they were trying to give off. I'm just not sure if it's my quote-unquote cup of tea. Still is a very, very good fragrance, but in terms of my rating, I give it a 7 out of 10. Now, if you have any questions whatsoever on this particular review, feel free to send me a message, leave me a comment, as you guys always do. That's about it. Thank you, take care, and have a great day, guys.